Hello everyone, this is Debabrata once again, and today I'm planning to take a class on list application. So I will not waste the time by giving the introduction and everything. All the important details you will find in the detail section of this class. All the links will be available there. So if I quickly jump into the topic, and before jumping into, I just want to say one thing today I'm going to discuss some important topics like stack, queue, selection shot, bubble shot, and it is super duper important for the interview, for the exam, for everywhere. If you do not face any of these questions in your interview or in the exams ever, you can tell me in the comment section. Okay, because you are surely going to face it somewhere. So it is that important. And as obviously I was really scared of at that time when I was in college, I just, frankly speaking, I have written all those things in a paper in my examination days. And for the interview rounds, I just remember all those things. So that's the thing. But yeah, I was really scared at that time. And I don't know, you will not, I know you will not trust me, but still it was a fact. But yeah, now I can understand all this, but at that time I didn't know what is programming at all, so I couldn't understand what is stack, what is queue, all those things. So you can revise all those things. You can try to write the code by yourself multiple times. If you check what are the errors are coming, spend some time. And this will be spending time on this chapter will be something worthy for you, because it is surely going to come in some important part in your life. Either it might be coming into your examination or in your interview panel. So it is important. Spend some time over there. So the chapter name is list applications. So prerequisite before, if you can just revise the introduction to list class, that will be obviously that will be needed. So just having some basic idea of list. So now if I quickly jump into the topic one by one, the first one is selection shot. So what is selection shot? So what is shorting? First, let me explain that. So suppose if you have one uh, list like this, and if you want to arrange them in ascending order, suppose if you arrange them in ascending order, means more for small to large values, so it should look like something like this. So it will be the input. If you short, if you short it out, the output will be like this. So there might be multiple ways available to short them out. If I give you 500 papers and in each paper a number is written, if I tell you arrange them in ascending order. So suppose five people are there, and if I ask like, okay, arrange them in ascending order. So five people might follow five different way to sort them out. Some person might be taking the finding the smallest number first and put the smallest number at first. And again, on the rest of the papers, probably he or she is finding the minimum one out of the rest of the papers and finding that minimum one and putting into the second place. So that might be one approach. Someone else might follow another approach, like whatever someone is getting, putting it somewhere. So there might be multiple ways, and that's why multiple type of short is available. So there might be selection short, bubble short, insertion short. There are many. But for the time being, we are going to cover selection short. So the algorithms, or algorithm is a tough word. I hate this type of word. So better to say mechanism to what is the process to do selection short, that I will going to tell you first. So that first I will tell you how to do the selection short. Then I will show you how to write the code. So whatever I will be telling you now, that is not related with the coding. First check how you can sort them out. But yeah, it is only five numbers. You can do it by your naked eyes. You can just tell like, okay, we have five numbers, so the shorted values will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But here, if I give you 50 values, obviously you have to spend some time. So that's the thing I'm trying to show you, what exactly you need to do in this kind of situation. So first, if you have 5 values, first you have to take the first value here. And now you have to compare that with all other values, with all following values. So I have to compare it. I'm talking about the position. Okay, because the value here in this position might change. It might be 50, it might be 55, it might change as well. But I have to take this position. So whatever the value is there in this position, I will take that. So first I'm going to compare 50 with 30 as the lines are suggesting. So obviously if 50 is greater, then I will swap them. Again, I'm going to compare 30 with 20. So 30 is greater. So I will going to change that. So it is not a part of programming. So don't be scared like me, like it is not a programming I am showing. Programming obviously we will do, but later. For the timing, I'm showing you the mechanism. So now 20 and 10, obviously 20 is greater. So here 10 and here it is 20. You can see the values are changing at this position. So values are not important. We are dealing with position 0. That is important. So here next 10 and 40. So obviously 10 is not greater than 40. So we are not going to swap anything. So after the first round, what will happen? The minimum number will go into the first place. So now if I take the second position, that is position number 1, just take a look into that. So now obviously I'm going to compare all the values in the following positions. So blue line suggesting I'm going to compare all the values following to this position. So again, the same thing, 50, I'm going to check with 30. If 50 is greater, so obviously it is going to swap. Next 30 and 20, if you compare, 30 is greater than 20, yes, so it will swap. So I'm showing you the full details, okay? Just try to understand the process first. 20 and 40, 20 is not greater than 40, so it will not going to be swapped. So the next turn, suppose let me take this position. This is position number 2. So if I'm going to compare that with the others, okay, it will be messy. It will not be clean, but still probably we can understand what is happening. So this position 50 is greater than 30. Yes. So 30 will come here. 50 will go there. Next 30 and 40. 30 is not greater than 40. So you do not need to do anything now. And the last part, so you just need to take this fourth position, and I'm just going to compare that with the last value. So this value with this value. So 50 is greater than 40. Yes, 50 is greater than 40. So you just need to swap that with the last value. And that's all. You do not need to do anything with this. So what we are doing, first we are taking the zero position, because list or array, whatever you can call it. So that starts from 0. So I'm taking first the 0 position, comparing it with all the following positions till the end. Next, I'm taking the position number 1, comparing it with all following positions. Then I'm taking position number 2, and at the end, I'm taking position number 3. So if I want to write a for loop now, so it is something happening like this. I'm starting from 0 and ending at 3. Okay. And obviously in Python, we have to take one extra value. So it is going to be 4. But my intention is to iterate till 3. But yeah, as per the one extra value, it is going to be 4. And I'm going to compare when it is I is 0, I'm going to compare that with all following positions, means I plus 1, from starting from I plus 1 till the end. End means it is position number 4. Means every time when I'm taking the position number 0, you can follow the red lines. I'm comparing with all these values. Means starting from 0 plus 1, 1. Starting from here till 4. Till 4. When the value of I is 1, means I'm talking about the red circle. So when I'm talking about the red circles, red lines, so blue lines. So here it is for position I equals to 1. And I'm going to compare that. If you can follow all the blue lines, it is from 2 to 4, means till the end. So here I'm writing the same, whatever the value of I, I'm going to compare that plus 1 till the last 4. So obviously one extra value I have to take. So it is going to be 5. So now I'm going to compare if somehow a of I, I was trying to compare at that time. If you have listened to my words, I was comparing, okay, 50 is greater than 30. Yes, so swap. This value is greater than of something, then swap. So the value in the circle means the value AI. If it is greater than AJ, we are going to swap them. So I'm just writing T equals to AI. Probably you can remember how to swap. We have learned that on the very first class. We have swapped the content of a cup of tea with a glass of wine, if you can remember. So I'm doing the following the same way. So I'm just swapping the values. If the value in the circle, whatever the value is, the value might be changing as well. So whatever the value is, if that is greater than the following values, any of the following values, we are going to change. The exact thing we have done here as well. So first we are taking I equals to 0, comparing with all the values starting from I plus 1 till the end. Next, the value of I will become 1 and comparing it with I plus 1 to till the end. Same in that way, I will iterate from 0 to 3. The last value of I will be here and I'm going to compare that with I plus 1 to till the end. So we do not need to take it here. So I have to iterate the value of I from 0 to 3. We have to, as per the rule of Python, we have to write an extra value. That's why I'm writing 4 here. And here I plus 1 to 4. But I have to write 5 here because of the 1 extra value. But obviously this 4 and 5 is not a constant part, as we are dealing with 5 length list. I have written 4 and 5 here. So if it is a list with length n, I can replace that with length of n minus 1. And here 5 will be replaced by length of n. Simply, blindly I'm doing that. Because if I write 5 for a 5 length list, obviously I can replace that with n for a n length list. If I'm writing 4 for a 5 length list, then I can replace that with length of n minus 1 for a n length list. If you are not able to understand, I will request you to revise this part multiple times. Still, if you are not able to understand, let me know in the comment part. I will try to do something. But revise that part until this part. Listen once again. Okay, so let me clear the drawing and let me go to our online compiler. So I'm not going to input anything because you know how to take the input. So if I'm taking few values here, 50, 20, 30, anything, you can give anything. Okay, it is not like always you have to give 50, 20, 30, those values. I'm taking those values because it will be easier to understand and all of your focus will be on the positions, not into the value, because it doesn't matter if I write 55 here or whatever the values are, it doesn't matter at all. It might be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or it might be like 17, 23, 150, anything. So if I use some tough examples, obviously you will be confused. Your focus will shift it to the values. But I want your focus should be here in the position. So we are dealing with position 0. So now at the end, if I try to print the value of A, it should show all the values in uh, in uh, ascending order. So here I have written one wrong syntax. It will be length of A. I have written by mistakenly N. So the length of list. So you can see the values has been arranged like this. So if you want, you can put some other values. You can make it lengthy. So it should be, let me put some more values with a 7 length list. And it should be arranged properly as well for this. You can see 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50. So this is selection sort altogether. So again, I will request you to stop at this position. If you do not understand, revise this part again and again and again so that it will be easier to understand. But if you got this idea, we can check some more examples of shorting, some more other mechanism or other techniques to short the same. So these are among most popular applications. So I would request, because it will be important for the interview, it will be good if you can understand the code fully, because some cross question might come from the interviewer's end. Some cross question might come in your Viva round as well. So do not try to memorize all the codes. Try to understand the code fully. So bubble short is something like something meant to short the list. The purpose is same, but it is being done by some other process, some other mechanism, some other techniques are involved. If I take the same array, if I take the same list, and if I want to do the shorting with some bubble short technique, if you do not know what is bubble short, let me explain. So first here, I want to check this with this, then I have to check this with this, and then I have to check this with this, and at last I have to check this with this. So what I'm doing, first obviously 50, I'm going to check with 30. So 50 is greater, yes, greater. So 30 and 50 here. Next 50 with 20, 50 is greater than 20, yes, 50 is greater than 20. So those will be swapped, 20 will come here, 50 will go there. 50 with 10, yes, 50 is greater, so 10 will come here, 50 will go there. 50 with 40, yes, 50 is greater than 40, so this will be done. So after the round one, we can confirm like the biggest value will be at the end. So that we can confirm. Next turn, we have to compare this with this. We have to compare this with this, and we have to compare this with this. So it is forming a shape of bubble. That's why it is being called as a bubble short. Now, probably you might be thinking why we are calling the previous approach as selection short, because every time we are selecting the minimum one at the first position. That's why it is being called as a selection short. Now you might be thinking both are same. In the first approach, we are collecting the minimum one at the first position, and here we are collecting the maximum one at the last position. It is partially true, because there are many techniques involved in this approach. Probably we can explore that, we can understand that in later classes. But for the time being, it is needed to understand what do you mean by selection short, what do you mean by bubble short. So now it is doing something like this. So again, if I compare 30 with 20, so 30 is greater, obviously. So 20 will come here, 30 will go there. 30 and 10, obviously, 10 will come here, 30 will go there. 30 and 40, no swap needed, because 30 is not greater than 40. Next, if I try to compare this, okay, let me change the color. If I try to compare this with this and this with this one. So 20 is greater than 10, yes. So 10 will come here and 20 will go there. Next 20 with 30, no, 20 is not greater than 30. So we can skip this part. We do not need to do anything here. So as the last part, though I can see it is already shorted, but still we have to compare this with this, 10 with 20. So if 10 is greater than 20, then you have to swap, but here 10 is not greater than 20. So we do not need to do anything. So this is the approach of bubble short. Now we will come to the programming part. But until this part, it is a mechanical part, that it is not a part of programming, that you have to understand first. So first what I'm doing, I'm comparing this with this, this with this, this with this, and this with this. In that manner, we have to proceed. And the next turn, we have to exclude this one, and we have to limit it. We have to limit this checking until this position only. Because after the first round, this position got the maximum value. So now, if we try to write the program, so there are many ways to write the program, many many type of means to achieve this, we can write the program in many ways. So what I feel good with a simple version, you can, if you check in Google, you will get many versions of code of Bubbleshot. But if I try to run something like, suppose if I want to take photo of these 4 persons, if I want to take photograph of these 4 persons, not the last one, only first 4 person I want to take photograph. I want to take some snaps with this 4 person. So it will be look like for I in range 0 to 3. And I want to print them, print type. So the positions, if I write, it is a 0 position, it is position 1, it is position 2, it is position 3. So I want to take the photo of these 4 persons. So it will be 0 to 3 print I. Okay, as per the rule of Python, we have to write +1 or 4 here. But I'm taking the photo of these 4 people, 0 to 3. Now, if they want to take some couple photo, so I have to, okay, let me write this program. Then it will be good. If I write this program here, let me clear this drawing. Yeah. So if I try to write this thing, okay, let me delete last 2 positions, make it small so that you can understand. Our purpose is to understand it first. So first, if I write this code, it will print all the, okay, it will print all 4 person like 50, 20, 30 until 10. These 4 persons will be printed. Let me show you. 50, 20, 30 and 10. 40 will not going to print. Now, if they wish to take a couple photo, standing together, so I plus 1. Suppose 50 wants a photograph with 20, 20 wants a photograph with 30, 30 wants a photograph with 10, and 10 wants a photograph with 40. I didn't take 40 into the account because 40 cannot take photograph with anyone else because there is no one left beside 40 on the right side. There is no one left. So now if I can run this program, you can see there will be a couple photo, 50 and 20, 20 and 30, 30 and 10, and 10 and 40. So now if I can take a photograph of those person, I can compare as well. If I can take photograph, if you can take photograph of yourself, then you can compare as well. So I'm just changing the code and I'm comparing if 50 is greater than 20, if 20 is greater than 30, something like that. So if AI is greater than AI plus 1, somehow I'm going to swap them as I was explaining in the code as well. So I'm going to change them. You can see. So this is the thing. So now I'm going to compare them. So now after the first round, obviously 50 will come into this position. Now, if I go to this and if I bring those lines, if you follow the blue lines now, so we have to do the same task for these people only, excluding 50. So here what I have to do, 0, 1 and 2. These 3 person will take the photographs with their neighbors or their partners. That means 10 will take a photograph with 20, 20 will be taking a photograph with 30, and 30 will be taking a photograph with 40. I'm not going to include 50 anymore. So if it is the situation, what I have to do? So here I just remove 4 and will write 3. If I do that, same couple photographs will be taken. Okay, let me delete this one. So same couple photograph, I can take it with AI and AI plus 1, but it will be for first 4 people. 40 will not be included. Last person will not be included. If I write 0, 2, then it will be for first 3 person. If I run, yeah. If I put 1, then it will be for first 2 person, 50 and 20. And if I put 0, then it doesn't make any sense. So again, if I put 4, just to revise, if I put 4, all the people will come into the picture. If I put 1, then first 2% will come into the picture. And that is exactly, if I go slowly, that is exactly our red line is saying and our pink line is saying. Our red line, if you follow the red lines, it is saying to compare everything with everything. And our pink line is saying just compare first 2 people. So now again, if I revise, like if I put 0 and 4, it is taking the photograph of all the people. It is denoting the red line. If I write 0 to 1, it is taking the photograph of first 2 people only. That is the pink line in our example. So without giving 4 and 1, what I can do, okay, obviously I'm not going to take the picture. So I'm telling them like, okay, I will take the picture, but what I'm trying to write here, trying to swap them. If you can take the picture, you can compare yourself as well. So I'm not going to put 4 here anymore or 1. Instead of that, I'm trying to put X here. Instead of 4 and 1, I'm putting X. And here I'm writing for the value of X will be vary from 4 to 1. And obviously, if it is decreasing, then it will be -1. It is something similar to the for pattern chapter. But again, if you haven't revised the for pattern chapter, it is okay. It is nothing goes with that chapter, but the concept at this particular part is similar, but again, you can skip. So here, X is basically providing the value here. So the first value X is providing is 4. Then the value of X is being provided as 3. Then the value of X is being provided as 2. Then at last, the value of X is providing as 1. So whenever I'm providing 4 here, it is comparing all the values. When I'm providing 1 here, it is only comparing first 2 values. So obviously one extra value concept in Python is there. So I have to iterate it till 1 extra value. So 1 means I have to iterate it till 0. And that is the bubble sort approach that I have explained a few minutes back. So now if I run, it should be in ascending order, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that is the thing you have to take a look. So you can achieve it in many ways. If you check in Google, there are many ways available, but the concept of all the ways are you have to provide here first 4, and at the end, you have to provide 1. Okay, so we are providing the value of X as 4, and slowly we are iterating till 1. We have to write 0 just for 1 extra value, but you have to provide the value of X from 4 to 1 here, and we'll be getting different numbers. Again, if you are not able to understand, I will request you to stop here and just revise this part once again. Just try to understand the mechanism first, then come into the programming. First, understand the mechanism, and you can revise it multiple times because it will be something worthy if you spend time, because it is surely going to come somewhere. Or people learning programming language doesn't know about selection shot or bubble shot. It is not possible. You can skip other programmings. I have shown already multiple programs to you in your class. So you might it is possible like you do not know something like splitting, you do not know something like merging. But if you do not know bubble shot and selection shot in programming language classes, if you have not heard that anywhere in your classroom or anywhere, if you haven't heard about selection shot or bubble shot, it is not possible. It is that famous. Okay, so that's the thing I want to mention as bubble shot. And I have given enough time on these 2 type of sorting. The same time I want to spend on stack. So what is stack now? Stack is something which means like last input, first output. It looks like a dish collector, a dish. Suppose in some event or ceremony, there is a arrangement of dinner, and after the dinner is over, someone is collecting the plates. So the first plate that will be collected, that will go at the bottom of this dish collector. The next plate that will be collected, that will be placed on the top of that. And again, suppose if it can hold only 5 plates, then the third plate will be on the top of the second one. And next plate will be placed here. And the last plate will be placed here. So now if you want to take out the plate in your kitchen, suppose if you want to take out the plates from this dish collector, then obviously the first plate you are going to take out will be the last one that you have inserted. Okay, the first one will be taken out at the last. That's why it is being termed as LIFO. LIFO means last in, first out. So whatever you will be putting last, you have to, at the time of taking it out, you have to take it out at the first. So last input and first output. And that is being called as a stack. So people call it stack. So we are going to develop the stack right now. Okay, so suppose someone has given some order like this. Some customer who will be paying for that, obviously they do not know how to implement. If they know how to program, they can build it by themselves. They will be going to pay us to prepare some software like this. So it is our first software that we are going to generate. So they are calling it as stack. So whatever they will tell, we have to implement in simple way. So they have said, they have given a requirement like this. Whatever will be inserted last, at the time of deleting, you have to delete it first. Some mechanism you have to build. So they are saying you have to build it. You have to build 4 different options. So the first option will be insert. Suppose they are calling it as push. Whatever they will say, you have to obey. You have to perform. That's why they are going to pay you. So first option is push, when you will be inserting something. Second option will be pop, when you will be removing something. So obviously whatever is being inserted at last will be removed at first. Next will be display. Anytime the person want to see the content of the stack, he will not mention list. Okay, because in our phone, in our Android phone or in our iOS iPhone, we do not know how we are going to save the phone numbers. Is it in list, or is it in tuple, or is it in dictionary? You do not know. Obviously iOS or Android is not going to tell you how they implemented that. So all we will follow the same way. Who is telling us to create something, create a software, we are not going to tell them what we are using underway. We are not giving them full access as well to see the code. We are going to give them few instructions. So what we are trying to do, we will create a list. Obviously that will not be disclosed. They will only able to see the black screen. Obviously those code will actual cases, in actual places, those code will be hidden. So what they can see only this type of messages. First, I will ask, enter the size of list. Enter the size of list. Okay, I'm not going to disclose what I'm going to use. So I'm saying, enter the size of stack. Stack is your product. Am I using any list or anything else? I'm not going to disclose. I'm just saying, enter the size of stack. Obviously, they will going to insert that. Then I will take some variable called loop. The value of loop is 0, or if you feel not comfortable with that, let me take x equals to 0. And this value will be iterated only until the value of x is less than 1. So obviously the value of x is always less than 1. So this loop will be infinite. So obviously I'm not going to give them the full access. I'm going to say like, okay, enter 1 for push. You cannot see the code. You can just click on some buttons. That's all. You cannot see the code underlined. And as per the preference, we are saying like push. We are not saying insert. Whatever they are saying, they are paying. That's why I'm writing their name. So they are saying, okay, it should be named as popped, a funny name. So I'm not going to use remove or delete anything. I'm using the name pop. So enter 3 for display, whatever they are saying, just listen to that and implement and take your money. That's all. Enter 4 for exit. So obviously somewhere it has to be ended. So 4, if you are done, just click 4 and the loop will be done. So here I'm saying, okay, enter your choice. Okay, sorry. ch equals to int input. I'm saying enter choice. Whatever you are going to choose, just enter that. So now if the choice becomes 1, I have to push something. Elif, if the choice is 2, then we have to delete something. Elif, if the choice is 3, we have to display. And elif, if the choice is 4, then we have to exit somehow. So how to exit, how to stop this infinite loop, I have to make x equals to 2 or something, or x equals to 1 is also enough. Because the loop is going to iterate until the value of x is less than 1. So I'm making it x equals to 1 or x equals to 2, whatever, so that it is no more less than 1 and the loop will be stopped. And if anyone's, we have to also take care about some bad users. Always user will try to do something nonsense. So obviously I will give them something like enter valid input if anyone clicks something else. Okay, so now let me focus on this part. So obviously, if you are going to insert, and if you have reached out to the length, suppose if, how can I write this? If length of A becomes n is the size, or let me write size here, it will be meaningful. So if the length of A reaches out to the size, obviously I will say list is full. Okay, list I'm not going to mention anywhere. I will say stack is full. People will be thinking like, okay, they have prepared one stack, not list. So they will say like, yeah, always I will try to give some impressions to the customer. Like, okay, we have built up a stack. So I'm using that name. Stack is full. Else, suppose they have chosen a size 5. If already the size of the list is 5, so obviously we are going to say like stack is full. If not, we are going to input something like val. I can write integer input, something like enter the value. Obviously, we are taking the value. So whatever will be inserted by the user, I'm going to append that at the end. Append val. Okay, so I'm going to insert that. Now, if anyone tells us to pop up something, so obviously, suppose we have the blank list first. We have the blank list first. So it is blank. So now someone inserted 10, then someone inserted 20, then 30, then 40, then 40, then 50. Then now, if anyone tries to insert something else, so size is already 5. I will show stack is full. Now, if anyone wants to remove something, so if I write pop, okay, first let me try to check how it behaves. So suppose if I write online Python compiler, so if I go to online GDP, so if I pop something, first let me check the behavior. Suppose I have given 10, 20, 30, 40 and print a dot pop. How it behaves, let me check. And after that, I'm going to print the full list. So a dot pop always removes the last one. You can see 50. It is the property of pop itself. It is a ready-made function available in this list. And at the end, you cannot see 50 anymore. So here I'm going to do the same thing. I'll be saying, okay, first one thing for the bad user, if anyone clicks option 2 at the very starting, even before inserting something, if anyone just enters like, okay, I want to pop. So obviously, if the length of A is 0, means if it is empty, at that time, if anyone tries to delete something or pop something, I will show like, okay, stack is empty. And otherwise, obviously, what I will do, I will print A dot pop. It will always pop the last value, and I can write is popped out or deleted, whatever you prefer. So that's all. And for the display part, if anyone wants to display something, the same thing will happen again. Someone might wants to see something at the very starting. So I will say like, okay, stack is empty for the time being. You cannot display you cannot see anything here. We cannot display anything. So stack is empty. But if it is not 0, what I'm going to do, I'm going to print them one by one. So how to print? Either I can print the full list, or I'm going to print them in some different way. Suppose length of A minus 1, the last value to the 0 value, to the first one. Okay, one extra value, it will be minus 1 and decreasing order. I'm going to print them one after another. Something like this. So starting from the last one, obviously, as list starts from 0, the last value will be length A minus 1. Till 0, for one extra value, I'm putting minus 1. And as it is decreasing, I have to write minus 1. And that's my software is. So now if I run, hiding all these codes. So enter the size of stack. Suppose I'm giving 5. 1 for push, 2 for pop, 3 for display, 4 for exit. I have given 2. I want to pop. I'm a bad user. So obviously it will show something like stack is empty. Okay, fine. If I want to choose something like 3, it will show stack is empty. Again, because nothing to display. If I tell like, okay, fine, let me push something now, enter the value. I'm entering 10. Again, 1, entering something, I'm entering 20. Again, 1 for push, entering 30. Now, if I want to see what are the contents, I'm giving 3. Entering, you can see 30, 20, and 10. Reversely displayed, like a plate. The plate collecting or the disk collecting that device. So 10, we have inserted that first. It is now at the end. 20 on the top of that, 30 on the top of that. Now, if I insert 2 more plates, choice 1, suppose I'm entering 40 and I'm entering 50. Now, if I want to see the content, you can see 10 is at the bottom and 50 is at the top. So now if I want to pop something, entering 2, so 50 will be popped out first. I am not going to show this as list. I'm showing them as stack, because obviously customer has paid out for those softwares. So I have to print it in the form of stack or something like that, so that it gives a feeling to his or her mind like, okay, that programmer has built something for me. So they will not going to understand. They are not going to see what I have written inside. They will just see the output in this black screen. So now 50 is popped out, you can see. Now if you want to check the content of the stack or the list in our language, so it will be something like this. So 50 is popped out, 50 is taken out. So 50 was inserted last, but it was popped out first. And that is the concept of LIFO. Last input, first output. Something like that. So now if I choose 2 again for pop, so you can see 40 is popped out. I'm not saying 40 is deleted. I'm using their terminology so that they can feel good. Again, 2, 30 is popped out. If I want to see the content, so you can see only 10 and 20. If you want, you can insert again. Okay, there is always an option to insert. You can do anything. So if I give choice 1 and if I give 100, so 100 will be placed on the top of 20. If I want to see, you can see 10, 20, and then 100. But if you popped up, if you choose to pop, obviously 100 will be popped up first because it was lastly inserted. Now, if I pop once again, so 20 will be popped out. And next, if I want to pop once again. So 10 will be popped out, you can see. So 10 was inserted first and it is deleted last. That is the concept of stack. Last input, fast output. Now, if I want to show the list, it will be empty. Or sorry, it is the stack, it is empty. Stack is empty. So now enough is enough. I want to go out of the loop. I do not want to give any other input. So I'm giving, okay, first I'm giving something A. So it will say invalid input. Please enter a valid input. If I choose 4, so I can go out from the loop. So that is a software customer might request. And this is being called as a stack. Got it? Let me take a backup of this if needed later. Something like this. Okay, or I can paste this code in the detail section of this class if you want. Now, this is the software. From the outside, they will not able to see what is written inside. They will just explode it as a software called stack. So now the last one, if I take like Q, so Q is something that is following the reverse operations, means whatever will be inserted first, that will be deleted first. It is being called as a FIFO. FIFO means first in, first out. So if I write the summary, so stack works on the LIFO technology, last input, first output, something like that. And and Q works on the FIFO technology. So it means first input, first output, something like that. So where LIFO examples are being seen in real life, suppose you are copying 3 things. Suppose you are doing moving, you are copying some movie from C drive to D drive, and it is almost 90% is done. At that moment, you are copying another few songs, few MP3 files from your pen drive, from your USB drive to your hard disk, and it is also 50% done. And now you are started copying another item, another few items. These first 2 copies are not done, but you have started copying something else, and that is also 20% done. At that moment, you have tried to start another copy, and the machine got hanged. So what do you think? Operating system or Windows or Mac will try to kill which option first? Obviously, it will try to kill this option, copy 4. After that, it will try to kill this one. If the hang is sorted out, then it's fine. If it is still hanged up, then it will try to kill this one. And at the end, it will try to kill this one. So the last inserted value will be deleted first. Same stack is being used to maintain these brackets, these alignments, all those things in other programming languages like Java and all. So these are the use of stack. So if you are inserting something, you have to delete that as well. And at the end, it should be clear. It should be clean. So that means you are using the correct alignment. Even here as well, here we are using some alignment. You can see those are being tracked using stack. Okay. And what is Q? You can get multiple examples of Q in your surroundings. Suppose if you have gone to a bank, so obviously in the bank, who will come first? That person will be served first. You are in a line, you are in a queue of your library. So if you are at the starting of the line, or if you are starting at the queue, obviously when the library will be opened, they will call you. So who goes first will be served first. So first input, first output. So queue is a normal way. So in queue, how to write this type of code? So the same options will be there, the size and everything, but they now want to call it as insert. They want to call it now delete, display and exit. Fine. So again, the same thing. If the size become full, I just want to show queue is full. Obviously not stack is full. I'm going to show queue is full. And here at the first line as well, you have to correct it. Enter the size of the queue. So now enter the value and I will append that. That is fine. If the length of queue is 0, means nothing is being inserted and anyone try to delete something, obviously I have to show queue is empty. And now if it is not empty, I have to always delete the first value. The first value, like if we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, I have to always delete A0, the first value. So how to, okay, if I print A0, it will print 10. But I have to somehow delete that. So now if I write something like I forgot the code, probably remove. If I write A dot remove A0, so it will remove that value. Let me check if that works or not. Yeah, you can see the first value is deleted if I call remove. So now let me do the same thing here. So here I can write, first I will print A0 is deleted because remove doesn't return anything. So I have to separately, I have to print it out. A0 is deleted. Then I have to write A dot remove A0 that we have explored here. That will dilute the first value. So now deleting is completed. Here, if someone try to see the empty stack, I will print like empty queue. Sorry. So I have to write queue is empty. At the very first time, if anyone clicks on 3, when we have not inserted something, so it should show queue is empty. Otherwise, I want to print them in a straightforward, not reversely. Starting from the first value, that is 0, till length a minus 1. I want to print them in a straightforward way. Obviously, I have to take one extra value in case of for loop. So it will be till length of a. And I'm going to print it like print AI. You can print in the same line as well. No need to print it one after another. I want to print it in a straightforward line. Okay. So, and other parts are okay. ch4 exit. And if anyone enter anything else, so I will print, I'm going to print like enter valid input, something like that. Okay. If I show you something like that, enter valid input. So let me hide the code and let me try to run it once again for the queue. So enter the size of queue. Let me write 5. Suppose let me try to give 2. So it will show queue is empty. If I give 3, it should show queue is empty. Now let me give 1. So I'm entering 10. Again 1, entering 20. Again 1, entering 30. Again 1, entering 40. Again 1, entering 50. Again 1, it should show queue is full. If I want to see the content, if I enter 3, you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, I should print it in the next line, but okay, that's okay. So it is printing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now, if I delete something, if I click 2, you can see 10 is deleted out. If I want to check the content by clicking 3, it is showing 20, 30, 40, 50. So who was inserted first is deleted first here. Now, if I want to delete another term, so 20 will be deleted out, you can see. So now if I enter 2 once again, so the next value 30 is deleted out. So we are left with 40 and 50 probably. If I click 3, you can see 40 and 50 are still waiting here. So let me click on 2. So 40 is deleted out, you can see the message. If I click 2 once again, so 50 is deleted out. And if I try to click 2 once again, so it will show queue is empty. Obviously, everything is taken out of the queue or of the list in our voice, in our term. So now if I display, so queue is empty. Now if I click 4, it will be exit. That's all. So this is the code of queue. You just need to hide your code. You just need to hide your code and you have to present it as user wants. And that is our queue. So if I go to the last page, so we are done with all those things. So we have a group here. So you can go to that group and you can check all this exercise. Or if you want to do some more task on list, so we have a Python specific exercise in our group. If we go to that part, and here you have to go to media. And if you go to the album, you will get a task like Python specific exercise. Where is that album? Yeah, here it is. If you go there, you will get this task like least task basic, and after that a least task intermediate. So you will get several tasks over list. If you want to try those, you can. So those are few examples. Even you can go to this data structure exercise as well, and you can try to find searching and sorting those exercise as well. But yeah, you will find something some more sorting techniques, some more searching technique there. So for the timing, you can skip as well. But if you are interested on those data structure part, you can take that on as well. But again, I will prefer to solve only Python specific exercise. That will be enough for you. And if you face any problem with the codings or any error is giving in when you are trying to run something, please paste that code in our comment section. So if I get time, I will have a look. If someone else have time, they can also look the same. Okay. So, or again, if you face any problem, you can communicate with our group. You can communicate with my mail ID as well. So all the best. Practice all those things, because surely you are going to face these 4 programs somewhere in your interview rounds or somewhere in your Viva round. Somewhere at least you will face that. Surely you will going to face any one program at least. Okay, so take some time, try to write those programs again and again and again. Whenever you are facing some error, try to understand why you are facing the error. Okay, in case of problem, let me know. Bye for the day.